Pride's taking a bit of a battering now. Corporates are pulling their money on certain Pride events now.
My fear is that the swing will be more extreme rather than moderate.
But I think the public mood is changed. The good news for me is the general public now understand gender ideology to a certain extent. The public, especially parents now, are holding schools more to account. They're saying, I don't want my children being propagandized. People are coming out. Pride's taking a bit of a battering now. Corporates are pulling their money on certain Pride events now. Things are changing. It's going to take a good, another 5 years maybe. But I think the West is changing, and I think it's downhill now for the LGBTQ nutcases, for the BLMs, for the eco-lunatics. I think it's all downhill now. The hardcore ones will fight till the end, just like those Japanese soldiers did on Pacific Islands. But I think the public mood has changed in the right way to a certain extent, but we have to be careful that that change doesn't then go back to bigotry, doesn't go back to the backlash. So we've got to welcome the change of general public, but we've got to make sure we help contain it so it doesn't swing too much the wrong way.
I completely agree with that. And this is my worry. So it's hard to end on a completely positive note, because this is the balance, isn't it? Balance and common sense and finding a middle ground seems to be in very short supply in politicians' minds at the moment. It's either one or t'other. And my fear is that the swing will be more extreme rather than moderate, because at the moment we're living in times of extremes. You're either one thing or another, and until a sort of mind frame comes back where one can see a middle ground and see tolerance and acceptance on both sides, but it has to be on the understanding that one group does not automatically get to impinge upon the rights of another group. And this is what's so dangerous about identity politics, is this is a domino. It's a domino, falling dominoes. So I'm hopeful that people are waking up, and that is. But I've always said I think it's going to get worse, and it has to get worse before it begins to get better. It's almost like that theory that's out there of every 100 years or something, or 50, or a certain amount of time where there has to be a war to release things. Not that I'm advocating for war, but I'm just saying there is a bubble that's about to be burst, and you don't know whether the lava from the bubble is going to jet upwards or spread out. And that's the big danger. And so I just think all we can do is keep holding the middle ground line and saying, that's not to say sitting on the fence. That's not to say, stand back and let it happen, still fight, but still to say, look, life is not about absolutes. Life is not about black and white. Life is not about one or the other. There's a way through. So we cannot let this go to extremism on the other side. We've been there, we've done that, and it wasn't good. But how do you deal with extremists who are in abundance at the moment? How do you deal with extremists without becoming extremist yourself? It's a difficult one, but I'm hopeful that maybe in 10 years' time we'll get there.
Yeah, I think what I've tried to do myself is I've tried to speak openly and honestly to the best of my ability, while at the same time trying to talk to people who I know I disagree with and they disagree with me, because it's the only way I'm ever going to get some different information that will either prove I'm right or maybe prove I'm wrong, because I'm not on this journey to be proven right. I'm on this journey to seek the truth, and they're two different things.
Absolutely. There's a very interesting person to follow, just going off on what you're saying, there's a very interesting person to follow, a man called Billboard Chris.
Yes, I follow
him online. And he stands there with a board saying children cannot consent to puberty blockers. And what he does is his mantra is changing the world one conversation at a time. And he films it. You've seen him, but it's a very interesting thing because he's dogged, he's persistent, and he just asks the same things all over. And sometimes he has success. And I think as long as one is dogged at the moment, as long as one is persistent, as long as one is consistent, that's all you can do. What other choice do we have?
We don't do it.
I don't think so.
If we lose communication, we're going to hell. If we lose communication.
And I think we came that close to losing it. Like you, I think people are beginning to wake up, but I think we came within a sliver. So I am hopeful. I am. But I do think we've got a rocky, it's like, taking a hovercraft from a calm sea into a rocky port. I think we've got the rockiest bit to come.